Craft School. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this beautiful cosmos flower. This is actually really quite simple. And this is one video in a series where I'm using some different flowers that we will make. And then I'm going to show you in the final video how to take all these flowers and put them into a bouquet. And you can use this bouquet for your wedding or for a gorgeous centerpiece. So let's get started. For materials, you'll need a pattern, which you can print, or we have the SVG cut files if you have a personal cutting machine. I have 3 different colors of this beautiful frosted text weight paper. I have punch, violet, and fairway. I also have some 18 gauge and 24 gauge wire. And this is paper covered, which makes it a lot easier. However, if you only have metal wire, that's fine too. And then I have some floral tape. For tools, you'll need a low temperature hot glue gun, scissors, and wire cutters with a needle nose plier head. And then I have here a stack of 3 heavyweight felt. And I'm going to use this as a pressing pad. You might be able to find something different to use. Maybe a mouse pad might work, or a thin foam, but this seems to work really well. So I'll show you how to use that. So I have my pieces cut out here. I did it with my personal cutting machine, and you can see I have a bunch of the flowers already made. So I'm just going to show you exactly how I did that. I've cut the 2 different colors of purple with each flower, but what I like to do is take the center and rotate it with the darker and then the lighter so that they have a little bit of variation. You can see this here on these flowers. I think that adds just a little bit more interest. So how you make the center, as you can see, it's pre-cut. It almost looks like a comb here. It's very, very fine. And I'm going to fold that in half. I won't press the center down because I don't necessarily want these to be flat, but just bend it a bit. And then I'll add a little bit of hot glue between the 2. I'll then take my 18 gauge wire and bend the tip. I want as much surface as I can get without adding bulk, so I'll pinch that to make it just almost like a double wire. Place some hot glue right on the edge and put that into the glue, and maybe let that cool just a second. And then I'll start rolling. And I can roll a little bit without glue, but I want to make sure that I have glue along the way. And I'm only putting it on the top because, as you see, when you roll this, the top and the bottom, they shift a little bit, and that's okay. It actually gives a really neat looking spiral. You don't want it to shift too much because you want to keep it fairly lined up. And then as you roll, all of these little cut pieces start to splay out, which is exactly what you want it to do. Without getting glue on the tip there, I'm just sort of pressing it to make sure it's lined up. And then I'll finish it off by putting glue again on both layers, the top and the bottom. And then when it's still cool, I'll just make sure that it's all fairly even. You can see how that rotated and splayed like this. That's beautiful. I really like the way that looks. And then once that's cool, I'll use my fingers to sort of make the center a little bit bigger and less tight, and it almost creates a bit of a dome. When you look at these paper cosmos flowers, you can see these little tiny folds on these petals, and I'm going to show you how I do that, and this is where this pad comes in. So if you've cut these on your personal cutting machine, there's a little tiny hole in the center, and I actually use that hole as my guide. So I'm going to open up my scissors so that I'm using just the side of the blade. And you know, in the past I've done this on my hand, where I'll place the petal on my hand and just press it right into the pad of my hand, and that works pretty well too. But as I was making all of these flowers, it just got tiring for my hands, so I wanted to try something different, and I think I really like this technique. So you'll need to work on your table edge. So I've popped a little stool up here to show you, and I'll just put my felt right there in the corner and then place my petal there. I'll put my tip of my scissor right into that hole, and then I'm going to press down about 6 to 9 times, and I'm just rotating the scissors as I go. And what happens is it not only gives this beautiful crease, but it also curls the petal. So it's kind of a win-win. So I'll keep doing that for each petal. Each of the flowers has 8 petals total, so you'll need 2 pieces for each of the flowers. So this is the second one. So I've pressed the lines in my petals and they look perfect. So the next thing I'll do is grab the dark center and I'll string on both of the lighter color petals. And then something that I've learned, especially when using this type of paper covered wire, is it works best to put the glue on the base and then slide the petals in. So I'll just rotate and add some glue right into that underbelly of the center, and then just bring down one petal, slide it into place, and then press it into the glue. We'll do that again, just right on the back of that first set of petals, slide it into place and rotate it, and then press it into the glue. And to finish this flower, I have these little discs that I've cut out of the green. They can be the same color as your leaf. In this case, they're darker, but don't worry about that. They can be the same color. You can cut them out the same time as your leaf, add a little bit of glue, and then press that into the place. And since this paper wire looks really finished, I don't feel like I need to put any floral tape on it. You can if you want to, or if you have just the metal wire, go ahead and cover this with floral tape. For the leaves, they have a score line right down the center. Now, if you've cut them by hand, no worries, just go ahead and fold them in half. And I'll take the edge of my scissors, you can either open or close, it doesn't matter, and give it a little bit of a curl, just like this. Now, since I'm making a bouquet, I want the leaves all to be separate. I don't want them attached to the flowers themselves. So I have my lighter wire here. This is a 24 gauge. I can bend it by hand. It's pretty lightweight, just to give me that extra space, or you can use your pliers if you want to. Add some glue to the wire. Then on the back of this larger leaf, I'll place that wire, and then back to back, place the other leaf, the small leaf, so that when I'm done, I have something that looks like this. And when I do all of my leaves this way, it's going to be really easy to build those into my bouquet and put them exactly where I want them. So here's the cosmos flower. Make sure you go check out the other videos. We have a beautiful peony, and we have some mini mums and some leaves, and then we have the video where I take all the flowers and put them together into a gorgeous bouquet.